One of the big three was Scoville Manufactures. Its original headquarters was on South Main Street, across from where Jajur's Market is located today.
Scoville Manufacturing was one of the big three in Waterbury in the time because they had gotten a lot of business from the government during the war. They had been used in the First World War and were always making things for the government on the side, such as buttons and buckles for army uniforms. During the war, they made things for the government, such as buttons and buckles as before, then they turned all their production into war supplies like these bullets here. This first one is for an assault shotgun. This next one is for a .85 caliber rifle, and this last one for a .75 caliber rifle. They had a lot of land in Waterbury, some 90 acres. They employed many women and teens to help with the war aid. Here are some shots of the different buildings on their land that were used to make supplies. These buildings were all left standing after the company's closing in the years following the war. They were taken down recently in the 90s by the city because they had been left unmaintained for many years and were becoming dangerous because of their decay. The other two members of the big three in Waterbury were Waterbury Brass and Chase Brass and Copper. These two were also under the contract of the government to make things like buttons and bullets for the war. One thing that Chase Brass and Copper did that the other two didn't was that it was used to make components for the atomic bombs used in Japan. Now, even though these three played a huge part in Waterbury and Connecticut's contribution to the war efforts, there were still many other companies that helped in many ways. One city that was helpful in the war was Naugatuck, and a company within the city was the Naugatuck Rubber Factory. They produced many rubber supplies for the war and for their soldiers' supplies on their guns and whatnot. Another company in Waterbury was Lux Clock. They also helped by making little things for the war in their factories during this time. These are all some of the companies that helped leave their